Because my talk is a two-part series, for anyone that wasn't here yesterday, I'm just going to give a real quick 60-second review. And that's that a basketball player's athleticism is the foundation of their entire game. And the wider and broader you can make that foundation, then the higher their potential peak. So by addressing a player's athleticism and improving their athleticism, you give them the potential to perform their skills at a much higher level. Now, yesterday I focused on balance, power, strength, and mobility. Today in the part two, we'll cover acceleration and deceleration, quickness and reaction, and certainly getting kids in great basketball shape. I'm going to jump right to it. I'm going to go ahead and get anyone that wants to go through the warm-up. I can use all of you, or I can use a handful of you to just grab a basketball and without dribbling, line up on that sideline, please. The more the merrier. One of the main things I touched on yesterday, and I touch on every single time I speak and every single time I work with our players at DeMatha, and that's that you build anything successfully, you build it brick by brick. Which means how you do anything is how you do everything. Every single thing you have your players do, every rep of every set, of every workout, of every practice, of every game is important. So we want to make sure that we address, go ahead, let's hustle up a little bit. We want to make sure that everything our players do, they do to the best of their ability. They do with proper footwork and technique, and that starts with the warm-up. I'm going to take them through a real quick skipping series. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, it's extremely important that everything you do has purpose. And I'll simply define purpose the way that we look at it at DeMatha is what I'm doing with our players in workouts and in practice, is that making them better on Tuesday and Friday nights when the lights come on and the cheerleaders start dancing? Is what I'm doing have a direct transfer to help them to become better basketball players or more resilient to injury when they have to play on Tuesday and Friday nights? And that's the quick checklist I go through with everything that we do. Basketball is played, it's multi-directional and it's multi-planar. It's played front to back, it's played side to side, and it's played with rotation. There are 6 movements that basketball players go through every single time they take the court. Players have to sprint, backpedal, defensive slide, pivot, jump, and therefore land, and they have to lunge. So we try to incorporate as many of those movements into our warm-up as we can. Right now, I'm going to get you guys, if you have a ball, you're going to take it, you're going to touch your belly button and the back of your neck, and you're just going to skip. You're going to skip to the other sideline, just be careful of the table, and then you're going to skip backwards. Anything athletically that a player can do forward, they need to be able to do backward. Anything a player can do to their right, they need to be able to do to their left. All right, so we're skipping. Go! Touch your belly button, touch the back of your neck. And backwards. Basketball is a rhythm game. It's a rhythm game. So we want to develop the central nervous system. We want to create some rhythm with everything they do. We're going to keep the ball up nice and high, and we're going to sway side to side. Sway side to side while we skip. Careful. Go. Go ahead. We have a simple philosophy at DeMatha as far as rhythm. And when we're playing, we want to establish ours. We want to disrupt theirs. That's how we view everything at DeMatha. We want to do what we want to do, when we want to do it, how we want to do it. We don't want our opponent to have that luxury. Now we'll chin the ball, elbows out, and let's twist side to side. 180-degree rotation while we're skipping. Go. Back to the brick-by-brick philosophy. Most coaches take a look at the warm-up, and they simply say, what can I accomplish in 8 to 10 minutes? And I understand that looking at it as an isolated time, isolated 8 minutes, you really can't accomplish a ton. But it goes back to the brick-by-brick philosophy. See, I'm fortunate enough to get kids at DeMatha as 14-year-old freshmen in high school. And I'm allowed to work with them 5 to 6 days a week, most weeks of the year, for the next 4 years. That's a lot of bricks. That's a lot of times, a lot of repetitions where we can change movement patterns. So if you give me a 14-year-old and that young person has difficulty squatting correctly, or they're not very coordinated when they skip, it's okay. We're going to be able to address it every single day. That's why the warm-up is so important. And I said it yesterday, and I said it every single time I talk. If you don't leave here with anything else, leave here with this. When you go back and you run your next practice, don't you dare just have your kids jog around in a circle 3 or 4 times and then sit on their ass and pretend to stretch. You're doing nothing with purpose, and you're not doing anything to physically or mentally engage them to compete. I want to challenge you to broaden your thinking to make sure that everything you do, brick by brick, is done with purpose. We're going to do the same things. Go ahead and spread out, guys. All the way to the end, my friend. We're going to face this direction, and now we're just going to laterally gallop side to side. Not really a defensive slide, but I want to get some lateral movement to loosen up your groin. We're going to do the same 3 things with the upper body. So you're going to touch the ball to your belly button and the back of your neck. A nice lateral gallop. When you hit there, come on back. Go. And then you guys should be able to figure out the next 2 patterns. There's something called perceived relevance that's an extremely important concept. Yep, there you go. Perceived relevance means your players clearly understand that what you are having them do will make them better on Tuesday and Friday nights. And again, I just use that, I keep saying Tuesday and Friday nights because in Maryland, the high school that we play, that tends to be the nights where we play most of our games. Of course, you can change that to whatever fits your schedule. But perceived relevance means players clearly understand that what you're having them do will make them better come game time. If there's any question that what you're having them do will make them better, it is your job as a coach to point it out. It is your job as a coach to connect the dots and make sure they get it. And the higher the perceived relevance, the better focus and the better effort your players will give. As soon as a player does not believe that what you're having them do will make them better come game time, they will check out. They will not give you good effort. They will not give you good focus. So it's important that we connect that perceived relevance. Now, the cool thing about basketball players, real quick, earmuffs, most of them aren't very smart. Most of them aren't very smart. And with most basketball players, by simply giving them a basketball, the perceived relevance goes up. We could obviously go through this same warm-up without a basketball, easily. But I like to add a basketball to everything that we do because it increases the perceived relevance. By putting a ball in their hand, they just feel like it's more specific and feel like it'll help them on Tuesday and Friday nights. So anything we can do to increase that, we want to do. Thanks. It'll put the ball between your feet. We're going to face this direction. You're going to drop your butt down, chest up, shoulder blades back, and we're just going to walk the ball nice and slow. Really getting those hips going, get that groin going. Want to make sure your feet stay parallel. They don't open up like a W. I don't want you to bend over at the waist, and I don't want you standing up and back down. I want you in one low, perfect postured position the entire time. We'll slowly walk the ball to the other sideline. We'll slowly walk it back. Take your time. Slow and low will win the race. Now, I went through a much more extensive warm-up yesterday, and of course, for anyone that wasn't here, I believe Adam said you're going to be able to watch that stuff online. So I'm going to keep today's warm-up really brief because I've got so much other stuff I want to share with you in the next 48 minutes. So as soon as go ahead and right back, same thing. Anything we do to our left, we do to our right. As soon as we're done this real quick abbreviated warm-up, I'm going to take them through a few mobility exercises. I mentioned yesterday, for those of you that work with females, females are 5 to 8 times more likely to suffer an ACL injury than males. Some of that is due to some genetic differences we can't address. A lot of that is due to some training factors that we can address. I work at an all-boys school. I work at an all-boys Catholic school, so I don't use ACL injury reduction terminology with my guys, but you better believe that we do it every single day. And of course, Derrick Rose, the NBA MVP, was susceptible to an ACL injury, so it's not something that only female players should worry about. But we address ACL injury reduction every single day. It's built into the fabric of our warm-up. So we make sure that our warm-up has purpose, and we make sure that we're doing things to make our kids less likely to suffer an injury. You guys can just leave the balls where they are and just come on out to your about rim to rim. Just move your line forward, rim to rim. We'll go through a few mobility exercises now. For the most part, when it comes to strength and conditioning, and this mindset is rampant in the United States, is that more is better. If strength training twice a week is good, then strength training 5 times a week is better. If running 2 suicides is good, then running 20 of them is better. And for some reason, that's just the U.S. mentality. And from a strength and conditioning standpoint, that is not true. More is not better. Better is better. We need to make sure that everything we do is high quality. People are actually shocked at how little, from a volume standpoint, that we do at DeMatha to get our kids in tremendous basketball shape. So we want to make sure everything we do is quality. All right, first thing you're going to do, we're going to really address mobility in your hips. We're going to get down in a plank position, everybody, which is the upper part of a push-up position. Your hands are directly under your shoulders. Your feet are the same width as your hands. I want you to bring your foot up so that your toes are in front of your fingers. Your arms are inside of your knee. Your back leg is as straight as you can get it. And I want you to look up and reach up for 5 good reps. Look up and reach up for 5 good reps. When you get those 5 good reps on that hand, keep your legs where they are and get 5 good reps with the other hand. We like doing mobility and flexibility exercises to give you more bang for your buck. So right now, this is addressing a lot. They call this the world's greatest stretch because it's getting the hip flexor, it's getting the butt. You have to keep your foot where it is and make sure you get 5 with the other hand. Once you've done that, go ahead and switch legs. Once you've done that, go ahead and switch legs. Tremendous for building mobility in the hips. The best way you can protect the knees is by improving mobility in the ankles and the hips, the 2 joints on either side of the knee. If the hips are really tight or the ankles don't flex, every single time a player runs or jumps or lands, all of that impact goes into the knee if those other joints can't absorb some of that impact. Okay, then walk it back into a catcher's position. So you're gonna sit like a catcher in baseball. Now the goal is to be able to keep your feet flat and your butt as close to the ground as you can. If you can't get your feet flat, or as soon as you sit back, you fall, that just means you're lacking some mobility in your hips or in your ankles. Not a big deal, just something to know. Go ahead and put all 10 fingers on the ground, and I want you to raise your hips up as high as you can without your fingers leaving the ground. Get a good pause at the top, and then bring it right back down. So you're gonna get a really good hamstring stretch at the top, a good groin and low back stretch at the bottom. Just count out 5 of those, please. A lot of the stuff I do with the guys at DeMatha has a yoga kind of derivative to it. We adopted doing some yoga stuff during the season last year, and our kids absolutely loved it. The first couple times we did it, it was a little bit of a grab-ass session. The kids were kind of joking around because it was something really new to them, but once they got into it and realized how much better their bodies felt, it was something we incorporated very regularly. Go ahead and stand up now, and let's go double hip width apart. I want you to hang straight down to the middle. I want you, keeping your feet flat, I want you to shift your hips to the right, getting a good groin stretch, shift your hips to the left to get a good groin stretch, then I want you to walk out and do what's called a cobra stretch. I want your head and shoulders up, your hips to the ground. The only thing touching the ground are your fingers and your hands and your toes, excuse me, and then walk back in. Get 5 of those, please. So you're getting a really good groin stretch, either side, then we're getting a hip flexor, abdominal stretch. So all we need to do, going back to the more is not better, we just need to pick a handful of these exercises, 3 or 4 of them that address every single muscle group and joint in their body, and we're gonna be good to go. I know that as coaches, time is of a premium. You might only have 90 minutes to run a full practice, and if you only have 90 minutes, I totally understand you don't want to spend 15 to 20 of that going through a warm-up. But find what you can devote to it, even if it's 8 to 10 minutes. But get the most out of that 8 to 10 minutes. Don't just slough it off again and just say, we have to warm up because that's what the physiology book says. Let's just jog a little bit and sit and stretch. Make the most of that 8 to 10 minutes, because that 8 to 10 minutes is another brick that you will add to your player's game. Looking good, gang. Once you're done, just have a seat on your backside. We'll get one more. We'll go here. You're gonna keep your feet flat, hands flat, and you're gonna bridge up. I want you to raise your hips as high as you can. Your goal is to get your torso parallel to the ground. It's gonna give you a good shoulder and chest stretch. So we're gonna lift up here, pause, down nice and slow. Just go ahead and count out 5 of those. 5 of those. Aside from the mobility work, anything that your players do is part of your warm-up. You can find a way to make it progressively more intense, and then that can be part of the actual workout. Anything that you actually have them do during your workout, you can find a way to make it less intense and incorporate that into the warm-up. The reason all of this stuff is interchangeable is because it all has purpose. So we want to make sure, go ahead and stand up. And I need, do we know how many we got? Let me get, and it doesn't matter if it's boy or girl, let me get 6 in red and 6 in black. And they're gonna be right here on the court. Everyone else can just have a seat. It doesn't matter who it is, 6 in red, 6 in black. We can mix up boy, girl, but it's gonna be red versus black for the first thing that we're doing. It's gotta be quick. Time's counting down here, let's go. 6 in black, 6 in red. And go grab 1 ball, please. And if we're not in the drill, go ahead and have a seat. Oh, you guys are on black? Oh, okay, so everyone's gonna be on this side of half court. Thank you guys for volunteering. We play versions of tag, good old-fashioned tag, which, you know, kids in the United States usually stop playing in recess of elementary school. We use some version of tag as the main staple of our conditioning program. What drill that kids absolutely despise makes up the staple of most conditioning programs? Starts with an S. Y'all hate running them, kids hate running them. Suicides, absolutely. Suicides tend to be the staple for most conditioning programs. I'm going to show you some versions of tag right now that are vastly superior to suicides in a variety of ways. One, it's much more game specific. See, basketball is about reading and reacting and moving and being elusive. That's what tag promotes. And it's a lot more fun. If you can find a way for your players to actually enjoy what they're doing, to have fun conditioning, they're going to give you a better effort. And if they give you a better effort, you're going to get a better result. So ultimately, you get what you want by making it more fun for them. Here's what we're going to do. So it's going to be red versus, it's going to be red versus black. Here are the rules. You guys are trying to tag the players in black, but you have to physically touch them with the ball. You guys are all free to run except for the person with the ball. When you play the game of basketball, what can I can't run with the ball, correct? All I can do is pivot. So if I can't reach someone from where I am, then I'm not going to be able to tag anybody. Everyone else is free to run. We will stay inbounds on this side of half court. There is no dribbling. For instance, go stand next to that young man. I can't tag anybody right now, but I can throw it to you. You can tag his ass, right? There we go. So now I give you a little hint. That's not what you guys are going to try and do to tag these guys. You understand? It's red versus black. We're going to go until you've tagged every player in black. Do you guys understand the rules? Go. Go. And it's easy for you guys where you're sitting. Just watch the thought process and start taking notes on what things they can or should do better. If you get tagged with the ball, get out of the drill. You might want to talk to each other. You might want to work together. That will help. There you go. Got him. Work together. Work together. There you go. Surround them. You guys aren't working together. Quick, quick, quick! Now the good part is if you guys just pay attention to their feet, we'll see that the person with the ball usually does some type of pivot or some type of lunge. Two of the basketball movements we want to reinforce. We're working on spacing, we're working on communication. Hopefully we're working on moving without the ball. Doesn't like we're working on it real well right now, but that's one of the goals. Look at the change. He's a slippery little rascal, that guy. Look at the change of direction the players have to go through. Now guys, let's go. You got 38 minutes to finish the drill and then I'm done. There we go. Work together. Go get that little guy right there. Go get him. Surround him.
You don't have the ball, you gotta move.
Time. Freeze. Everyone that started the drills back in. Everyone that's, and that's okay. Hey, give them a hand. These kids are doing a terrific job. Terrific job. Now we're going to play the same game, but I'm going to let black tag red. Now, black, you just got about 4 minutes of education of watching how the drill should or should not be done. So hopefully you guys are ready to make some improvements. Black, it's your ball. I'll give you 1 minute to tag everybody. Go. Talk! Work together. There you go. What's the old saying? If you chase two rabbits, they'll both escape. Kids need to find one kid, gang up, and tag them. Find one kid, gang up, and tag them. Teamwork. Work together. Now you're cooking. Surround him. Don't let him out. He stepped out. He's out anyway. He stepped out. Go ahead. You got 20 seconds. You guys are doing a terrific job. Terrific job. Come on. You got 20 seconds left. That's it. Come on. Go quick. Work together. He stepped out. He's out. If you force him out of bounds, he's out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. Hey, give them a hand, please. I'll take the ball. All 12 back in. All 12 back in. Another version of tag that we'll play. Now there are no teams. There are no teams. When I say go, this young man is it, and he's just going to try to tag as many of you as he can. Old school freestyle tag. If you step out of bounds, you're out. I want to count how many people that you can physically tag in 20 seconds. I'll tell you when to start. Ho, ready, go. Let's count them. 20 seconds. 1. He's out. 2. 3. 4. 10 seconds left. 5. 6, 7, and time. Give him a hand. That is outstanding. Everybody back in. Everybody back in. Young man, come here. Come here. Need absolute silence right now. Absolute silence. I hear two things. You know what I hear? I hear him breathing, and I can hear his heart beating. This is as good of a basketball conditioner as you'll get. Now here's how we do if this was DeMatha. As soon as this young man's turn is done, and I think he got 7, I believe, he would immediately, everyone gets back in, you'd call out a teammate's name, and then it's their turn. Call out a teammate's name. Mike, go, 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 go! Same thing. We would run through the entire team with this. So we have 12 to 15 players on varsity. Each player would go for 20 seconds. We might go twice through. We might go twice through. I'm not even counting, just keep going. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. Everybody back in. Everybody back in. Young man, you got a live dribble. Same thing. You're it, but you keep a live dribble. Go, go, go. So now we can up the ante a little bit. We add a layer to the onion. Now he's got to keep a live dribble. That puts him at a disadvantage. But it has purpose. 10 seconds left, my friend. 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. Hey, there you go. Now see the ball. Everybody go pick up a ball and bring it back. Everyone go pick up a ball quickly. Quickly. Going back to purpose. Now, just to be clear, I don't do the skill side of things. I don't teach skills. I don't teach X's and O's. I simply work on basketball athleticism. But I've been around high-level basketball long enough that I know what things transfer and what things don't. And again, that's not for me to decide. But when you go back and evaluate the drills that you do from a purpose standpoint, you need to ask, again, will this transfer to Tuesday and Friday nights? Now, I know on some level that beginning, especially with younger kids, that beginning with some of the more rudimentary, non-dribbling type ball handling drills are used to develop coordination. They're used to develop, confidence with the ball. I'm not saying don't do those things, but you have to ask with every drill that you do, what is the transfer? And I know for a fact, I know kids that can handle the ball like this, like Pistol Pete, and what happens when they get in the game? That thing's like a wet bar of soap, right? They can't even hold on to the ball. So obviously whatever they were doing there is not transferring to Tuesday and Friday nights. I have seen firsthand that being able to control the ball while playing tag has a high rate of transfer because of the ability to read and react and change directions and be elusive. Now we'll go, young man with the wrist. Yeah, let me take the ball. Everybody keeps a live dribble except for him. He's it. Now you guys are at a disadvantage. Go. Go, tag him. 10 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. Give these kids a hand, please. And you guys may set the basketballs down. You can kind of wait over here. Young man in the green shoes. And you want to help? Okay, you guys just go with the middle circle right there, just you two. When it comes to strength and conditioning and athleticism training, you're only limited by your own creativity and imagination. There's a couple of things that you need to have as your checklist. First and foremost, whatever you do has to be safe. I believe that whatever you do should be time efficient because there's so many things going on in your players' lives that necessitate their time. You want everything to be as time efficient as possible. It needs to have purpose, and it needs to be progressive. It needs to be something you can add layers to or subtract layers to. If it meets those 4 criteria, then everything else is fair game. I was talking with a coach before this about these type of drills, and I get my drills from a variety of different places. If you guys like the drills I do and you take them back and you use them, that's the biggest form of flattery. I'm honored that you would do that. But I want you to not just look at these drills and take them as face value. I want you to look at them through your lens and say, you know what, I like that drill, that tag drill Coach Stein did, but I'm going to tweak it. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to change it and do it this way. I'm going to change the parameters. I want you guys to take any of the things that you like today or from yesterday and find ways to tweak them, find ways to grow them and expand them and to make them yours. I actually learn more from you guys than I learn from any other source because I'll have a coach come up and say, Coach Stein, I saw this drill you did on YouTube or on your DVD and I decided to change it and do it this way. And then I immediately take that nugget and I put it in my pocket and I make sure that I do that with DeMathis. So I want to make sure we're all collectively working together to expand and don't just take these drills as face value. Find ways to use your own creativity and expertise to expand on them. We're going to use this circle here. So young man in the green right here, young man right here. Basketball is a game that's played in straight lines and it's a game of sharp angles. It's not a game of circles. With the exception of maybe coming off of a curl cut, you don't play in circles. However, as I talked about ad nauseum yesterday, how important a player's feet are. The strength and mobility in the feet and ankles is crucial to improving a player's athleticism and lessening the occurrence of injury. Running in a tight circle is one of the absolute best ways to strengthen feet and improve mobility in the ankles. It's also a tremendous way to work on acceleration and deceleration. What these two guys are going to do now, I'm going to step in and be you for 1 second. So we're on the circle. We face each other. We have good communication, which means you're going to go this way and I'm going to go this way. If we don't have good communication, we might go the same way and clunk heads. We don't want to do that. So we start running around the circle and we're sprinting as fast as we can. When we get back to where we started, I want you to plant real quick with what's called a hockey stop. We're in Canada. I mean, it's all hockey up here, right? Hockey stop. I'm not a big hockey guy, but I've watched enough hockey to know that when somebody's skating at full speed and they plant at a 90-degree angle and the little ice comes up, that's the most efficient and safest way to stop when you're on ice. It's actually the safest and most efficient way to stop when you're on dry land, which is called a hockey stop, which means you plant perpendicular like a T to the direction you're running. If I'm sprinting down the court, the safest and most efficient way for me to put on the brakes is to plant my foot at a 90-degree angle. And I plant with my ankle outside of my knee outside of my hip. Forms the base of a pyramid. Now, basketball players don't always have the luxury of planning that way. If I'm sprinting down the court this way and a player gives me the pass, I have to be able to decelerate in other ways. But when any time possible, that is the safest and most efficient way to plant. So anyway, back to where I was. I come here, quick hockey stop, you do the same thing. We're coming back, we're sprinting around. When we get back to where we started again, I want you to step in however you've been coached and taught to shoot your jump shot. At DeMatha, we teach, Coach Jones teaches, step in with a 1-2, step in with the closest foot. If I'm gonna shoot at this basket here, I would step in right, left, and shoot my shot. If I'm on this side, now my left foot is the closest, I would catch, I'd step left, right. That's just what we teach. Whatever it is that you teach, you reinforce during this drill. So I would come in here, step in 1-2, shoot, land, and then we'd be out of the drill. So let me get you two guys here. First time you may go at half speed. So you're gonna go, I'll start you. You make one full revolution, quick hockey stop, one full revolution, stop, decelerate, shoot your jump shot. Half speed, go. Excuse me. All the way around. Yep. Step in, shoot your shot. Bingo, okay? Now you guys got the footwork down. Now I want you to do this as hard and as well as you can. I'm gonna say go, and you need to go as fast as you possibly can. Everybody watching, pay attention to their feet. Watch their sneakers. Watch the range of motion that their ankles go through. It'll give you a much greater appreciation for why we're doing this. So we're working on accelerating, we're working on decelerating, and boy, are we strengthening the feet and ankles. As hard as you're capable. Go! And relax. We're gonna do it one more time, and this time we're gonna do it correctly. You guys understand what we're doing? One full revolution around, one full revolution around. One more time. Go! Much better, guys. Terrific. Give them a hand. That was outstanding. Nice job. Don't go anywhere. No, don't go anywhere. You guys are up here for a little bit. You can do any type of movement pattern out of this you want. And this right now, it's okay if you guys go half speed. I want you to do the same thing, but I want you to backpedal. Anytime, but before you start, anytime I have our players do a drill, if there's any way that I can add their ownership into the drill, I want to do that. So right now, you're backpedaling. When you get back to where you started, if you want to step in and shoot your jump shot this way, that's fine. If you want to reverse pivot, whatever you want to do, I want you to have some creativity. I want you to mix it up. I want you to own the drill. My only rule is that you backpedal around, and end with a stop. So you guys decide how to be creative. Make sure you communicate which direction you're going so you guys don't clunk heads. Whenever you're ready, and you may go at half speed, go ahead. So they're going to backpedal. We're working more on movement patterns. We're working on taking their ankles and hips through different ranges of motion. Obviously, backpedaling in a circle would never happen during a game. That's not the point. But taking their legs through and make sure we end with a jump shot. Let's make sure we do the same thing now. Let's go with a defensive slide. Yesterday, I touched on that your player's butt is the strongest muscle group in their body as far as basketball is concerned. And that needs to be the engine that drives the car when they need to go right or left. So if you want to improve your player's quickness and explosiveness moving laterally, don't have them step slide, which was still taught in some high schools in the United States. You want to teach them to push step, which is push off of that back leg, excuse me. So let's go defensive slide, focusing on a push step. Whenever you're ready, you're up. Yep, doing fine, guys. And I'm just having them demonstrate at half speed. Now we're gonna go back to being full speed. And you can do that with any pattern. And especially if you're working with younger kids, where you're working on gross motor patterns and you're working on coordination in their central nervous system, you can have them skip in a circle. You can have them karaoke in a circle. Anything that you can think of, again, is gonna be fair game. This time, just walking through it. I'm gonna say go, you guys start sprinting in one direction, but just walk right now. Go. So you're sprinting, I'm gonna yell switch, immediately switch direction wherever you are with a hockey stop. I'll yell switch, switch, one more time, switch. The fourth time I'll yell stop, wherever you are, you shoot your jump shot. So now we're going live from Winnipeg, we're going as hard as we can right now. I'll say go and you start sprinting as hard as you can until you hear me yell switch. When I yell switch, you change direction. There'll be 3 switches and then we'll end with a stop. This is as hard and as well as you've ever done anything in your life. Go! Switch. 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 Stop. Outstanding. Give them a hand. These kids are great. But we always want to find a way to make it more progressive. And anytime you can add a level of competitiveness to a drill or to an exercise, once they've mastered the footwork or mastered the skill, we want to make it competitive. So right now, when I say go, you're going to try and tag him. You're going to chase him. The only rule is you can't go inside of the circle. You can't go inside of the circle. Now, you look like a relatively smart young man. If he starts running in this direction, which way will you go? All right, good. Just making sure. Just making sure. Now, you don't have to run in one direction. You can fake him that way and come this way. You change direction. You do whatever you have to do to tag him in 15 seconds. Go! Yep. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. Line it back up. Awesome job, guys. Now you try and tag him. Let's mix it up. Same thing, other guy. Go! Yep. Oh, got him. Nice job. And relax for a second. I don't even need to walk by them and ask for silence. I can hear them breathing heavy and I can hear their heart beating. That is about as good of a basketball conditioner as you'll get. If you want to get your kids in great basketball shape, put them in pairs, and these two are a nice pair because they challenge each other. Had he not fallen, he probably wouldn't have gotten tagged, but those guys challenge each other. They're of good, equal speed. Terrific. If they did a set of 10 to 12 of those with 30 to 45 seconds in between his rest, they will be in phenomenal basketball shape. Just doing that a couple times a week. See, there's still kids in the United States, bless their hearts, they're trying to do the right thing. They still think getting up before school and running 5 miles through their neighborhood is going to get them in basketball shape. And it doesn't. It's a completely different energy system that basketball uses. Basketball is about starting and stopping. It's about really short bursts of high intensity activity, and that's what we want to make sure our drills use. Now, you keep a live dribble, you're trying to tag him. You are at a severe disadvantage right now because you're going to be a little slower with the ball. Just do the best that you can. Go. Oh, man. And I'll take the turnover on that one. I probably didn't explain it well enough, and that's my apologies. He's trying to tag you, so I apologize. No, that's okay. Sorry about that. That's my fault. One turnover for Coach Stein. You guys mark it down. The kid with the ball is trying to tag the kid without. Go! Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Check it back up. Stay there. Nope. You keep the ball. Now you are going to tag him. Now again, you're going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage. Understand that from a training standpoint, the goal of training is to make training so hard that the game becomes easy by default. Is to set up your workouts and your practices in a way that put your players in such a disadvantage that it's easy to play the game. That's the whole point of what we're trying to do. Some of the best drills that I've seen that Coach Jones does, we'll play games where we've got 5 guys on offense against 6 or 7 defenders, especially when we're going to play a team that likes to really press. You can break a press with 7 defenders. When you get in the game and you only see 5 guys in another colored jersey, it's a piece of cake. So anytime you can put your players at a disadvantage, you want to do that. And obviously, anytime you have the ball, you're going to move a little bit slower than when you don't. So this is putting him at a disadvantage, but that's okay. That's what we want. So you're trying to tag him. He has the ball. Go. Nice. Excellent. Yeah, you're good. 5, 4, 3, and time. Give them a hand. Terrific. Terrific, terrific. And you guys, actually, I'm going to keep you up here because you guys are both doing a nice job, but we don't need the ball right now. Excellent work. Those tennis balls. May I borrow those tennis balls? Need both of them, pretty please. Thanks very much. I like doing a lot of stuff with tennis balls. It's tremendous for working on reaction. It's great for hand-eye coordination and dexterity, and it just breaks up the monotony. It's just something a little bit different that we do. I'm going to do a couple tennis ball drills with these guys that are going to promote 6 areas of basketball athleticism. The reason I love these drills, they're very simple in concept. They're very easy to get your kids to do, yet they're working on much bigger, complex issues. So whether or not you describe them to your players is completely up to you, but they're going to be working on things that they don't even realize that they're working on, and that's why I like using these drills. Young man in the green, and what was your name? Zach. Zach, you're just going to be on the midcourt line, and you can go behind him. What was your name? Zendeep. Okay. You're going to get in a good athletic stance. Yesterday, we defined an athletic stance as chest over knees over feet. A player is low enough that they can touch their kneecaps with their fingertips, but of course they're not going to keep their hands there. So they don't need to get any lower. Once again, and I'm a Duke guy. I love Duke basketball. I'm a big Coach K fan, and boy, did I love Wojo when he played. And he's always famous for getting down there and doing this right here in a defensive stance because it looks intimidating. And I agree that that's kind of cool, but that's not an ideal position for a player to move from. There is such a thing as being too low. You can be too low, and then you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. Player doesn't really need to be any lower than when their fingertips can touch their kneecap. They can do anything they need to out of this. And again, the game of basketball is played from low to high, but they don't need to be super duper low. So they're going to be in this position here, hands are up and active. They're on the power pads of their feet, which means they're not resting on their heels, but they're certainly not up on their tiptoes. You don't have any balance when you're on your tiptoes. And from this position, Zach can move anywhere he wants. He can go right, left, he can go diagonal, he can go front, back, he can pivot, he can jump, he can do anything. So this is the position we want him in. I'm going to stand about this distance for right now, and I'm just going to hold both tennis balls up. All I'm going to do is open my hand. When I open the hand and the ball drops, his goal is to catch it before it bounces twice. Now here's the 6 areas of basketball athleticism that we're working on. So right now he is on balance, which is crucial. You'll see his tendency is going to be to lean forward. He's going to try and anticipate when I drop that ball. If a player is leaning forward, what is one direction that you know they cannot move? Backwards. Well, that's a fourth of their options. And when you're playing defense, the ability to take a retreat step and move backwards is an important one. So if a player is leaning forward and their center of gravity is moving forward, they're the easiest player on the court to beat because their energy is all going in, in this direction. The offensive player is trying to go in this direction. So we have to make sure he's got balance. Next, he wants to have vision. He needs to look right in the middle of my chest so that he can see both tennis balls. Great players have great court vision. They position their head so that they can see as much of the court as possible. See, in any athletic skill, the fewer moving parts, the better. The fewer moving parts, the fewer chances something will go wrong. So you don't want players that are doing this, and you certainly, if you can't see, you don't want them doing the same thing with their eyes going back and forth. They want to position themselves where they can see everything at once. So he's going to look right here. So vision is number 2. As, as I drop, whoa, that was a dead spot. As I drop, he's going to need to react. Reaction is a key component of quickness. Reaction is a part of the overall quickness equation. If these 2 young men somehow were separated at birth and had the exact same DNA, the exact same speed, the exact same quickness, if Zach reacts 0.1 second faster, he gets the ball every time. He gets to the spot every time. So reaction is part of that. If you happen to be playing against a player that is quicker than you are, is faster than you are, but you have better reaction, you'll negate some of that inherent athleticism. You'll negate some of that athleticism. So then that third part is reaction. As soon as the ball drops, then do we have another tennis ball by any chance? Unless this thing's got lead in it. Well, don't worry about it. If someone's got one, I'll take one. If not, we'll figure this out. He needs to accelerate. See, basketball's not a speed game. Whoever can run 84 feet the fastest in the game of basketball, it's irrelevant. Basketball is about starting and stopping. It's about changing direction. From an acceleration standpoint, you need your players to be able to get to their top speed as quickly as possible, in as few steps as possible. So you need players that, again, in 3 to 4 steps are as close to their full speed as they can get. So we're working on, oh, wonderful. Thanks very much. We'll see any of these that can work. Thank you guys very much. So he needs to be able to accelerate. Next, he needs to use his hand-eye coordination. Basketball's huge on hand-eye coordination. Eyes are what finish plays. Eyes are what help you catch the ball. Eyes are what finish layups. So we need to make sure that he keeps his eye on the ball the entire time and makes the catch. And then arguably the most important part of the drill is the deceleration component, is the ability to catch the ball and come to a complete stop without traveling. We don't want to involve those guys in the Foot Locker shirts and the whistles. Anytime we can keep them out of the game of basketball, it's a good thing. But if you catch a basketball and you keep doing this, they're going to get involved, they're going to blow the whistle, and it's going to be a travel. We try to keep those meatheads out of the game as much as possible. So when you catch the tennis ball, you make sure you're under enough control that you come to a stop. So those, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Just doing a quick tennis ball test. All right, this one sucks. All right, ready? What was number 1? Balance, right? Don't lean forward. Bingo, nice job, buddy. Right back. Excellent. Now what we'll do to put some parameters on it, are you right-handed? You're a right-handed player? Most players, especially at the younger age, did you notice which hand he caught with? he caught with his right because that's where he feels more comfortable. And I don't blame him a bit. He's doing this drill for the first time in front of 200 strangers that are all watching, so I'm sure he's a little bit nervous. But we want to put some parameters on it to make sure that we train both sides equally. So when the ball is on this side, you catch with your left hand. When it's on this side, you may catch it with your right hand. So I want to force you to use both. Bingo, nice job, buddy. What was number one? Oh, okay. Excellent, excellent. Now we can mix this up once again. Now two things. One, if I'm his partner or I'm his coach, I want to make him better. My only goal during doing this drill is to make my teammate better. See, that's what we try to make contagious at DeMatha. If I can make him better, then our team gets better by default. And then when it's my turn to go, I will demand that he makes me better. That's the attitude that we try to make contagious at DeMatha. Now, chances are, from standing from this position, I'll put you everything I got in my wallet that he'll catch 10 out of 10 from this distance, which means I'm not challenging him. I'm having him do 10 repetitions of something he's currently capable of doing. I don't want to do that. So if he catches 2 or 3 in a row like he just did, I'll move back 6 to 7 inches. I'll move back until I find a point where he's catching at about a 50% rate. He barely catches the ones he catches, he barely misses the ones he misses, but that's how we'll make sure that there's some progression. And it'll take a little bit of trial and error to find that. For the clinic purposes today, I'm not real concerned with finding that because I want to show you guys as many wrinkles to this as I can, but just make sure that that's how your players do it. Now, players, excuse me, don't always have the luxury of starting from a perfect athletic stance. So we want to mix up his foot position. So this time, why don't you start from a staggered stance, almost like a wide receiver in football. Yep, same thing, but this time, let's switch it up. If the ball is on this side, you catch it with your right hand. If it's on this side, you catch it with your left. So you're going to catch across your body this time. Bingo, nice job. And decelerate, stop on balance. And he switched his feet automatically. That's a good job. Nice work. Really nice job. What was number one? Oh, okay. And it's normal for him to do that. See, I like the fact that he does that. It shows me that he cares. It shows me that he wants to get the ball. It shows me that he's competitive. So he's trying to get himself a little advantage by leaning forward. I get that, but I want to make sure that I break him of that. See, this is all about rhythm. What will happen with players, they'll get in a rhythm when they drop the ball, and it'll be like this. Boom, bang, bong, drop. Boom, bang, bong, drop. And it gets to the point that it's so predictable that you've lost the reactive component. So you want to teach your players to do this drill effectively. I might get up right now. You ready? And we might go right away, or we might just stand here and awkwardly stare at each other, gaze into each other's eyes for 8 to 10 seconds, and then do the drill. So either way, we want to break the monotony of knowing when it's going to drop. Let's change it up and let's take a lateral stance. So face these lovely folks right here in a defensive stance. You can still put your head on a swivel because I want you to see. This time, try to catch it with both hands. Try to wrap both hands around it. That's okay. That's a good job. A little dead spot there. It's good work, Zach. You're doing a nice job, man. And I just realized I'm having you stand here, and that's 100% my fault. You can go sit down. I think Zach's got it covered. I'm sorry about that. Pretty inconsiderate on me, huh? Thank you, though. We had a good reserve ready to go. Face the other way, same thing. We'll switch directions every time. We can do this out of any foot position. He can go from a rapid fire start. He can go from a double foot fire. He can slide back and forth a couple feet at a time. Anything you can think of, it will work. Now, we want to add some layers to it. So let's go back to the athletic stance. First part of the drill is the exact same. Come and get this one right now. So you go and get that one. As he's grabbing that one, I'm going to underhand toss this one back somewhere in this general area, somewhere in the general area he was standing. So now we've added the layer of he catches it, he has to immediately put his head on a swivel because visually finding the ball has to be the most important thing. Once he's found that ball, he will load and explode and, excuse me, and catch it with whichever hand does not have a tennis ball in it. Whichever hand does not have a tennis ball in it. Quick. Excellent. Nice. Let's get another one. And of course, we could mix up all the foot positions. I'm not worried about that right now. Can you give him a hand? Nice job, Zach. Stay here. Don't leave. Don't leave. Now, one thing that's not doing this justice, and I do it from a clinic standpoint because it's so much easier just to be up here with one kid, you have to realize that this young man right here plays for DeMatha. So do 14 other kids. We have 14 other kids right now spaced out in pairs on the court. It's what's called controlled chaos. There's a lot of action going on. So visually, when he turns his head, he probably sees in his peripheral vision 15 other tennis balls bouncing somewhere. He's got to visually focus on the one that he needs to go get. It also promotes communication and court awareness because I've got Zach and I are working here. We might have 2 other players working right here. Well, if they both throw the tennis ball to the same spot, Someone's gonna be on the tracks when the train comes through. You might wanna talk to each other. You got two players coming in on the same area to grab the tennis ball. One of them better speak up or there's gonna be a collision. So again, it's the controlled chaos of having everybody involved. What we'll do now, we'll just add another wrinkle to it. First part of the drill is the same. You come and get this one. As you're getting that one, I'm gonna bounce this one straight down so it goes straight up, and you're gonna jump to catch it at its highest point. But we're gonna work on some timing, we're gonna work on your footwork. So you're gonna catch the first one. Visually, you need to find it. You need to put your feet in a position so you'll be successful. You need to time your jump so that you can catch it as close to the ceiling as you're capable of catching it. What was number one? Oh, okay. Explode. Not bad, but I know you can jump higher than that. I saw you jump higher than that yesterday. Give me one more, but give me your best effort, my friend. Best effort. Much better. Nice job. Give him a hand. That was terrific. Terrific. I told you that the circle chase drill, it's hard to tell what my favorite drill is. That's like telling you which one of my kids is my favorite. But the circle chase drill and the drill I'm going to do right now, a 2-ball dance, I think are as good as you'll get as far as promoting all the areas of basketball athleticism, getting kids in great shape. We're gonna do a dance now, and your goal is to stay about 2 arms distance away from me. So you're down in a stance, and I'm gonna simply drop a ball to the side. You're gonna move and catch it with your closest hand, toss it right back to my belly button, underhand, yep, nice and easy. As that's coming to me, I'm gonna drop the next one. So you and I are dancing around, just like this. Just like this, quick feet, quick feet, quick feet, yep. Now again, you guys in the cheap seats watching, imagine right now we got 16 players from DeMatha all on the court doing the same thing. All on the court. 5, 4, 3, 2, go get that last one. Go get it, go get it, go get it, go get it. Decelerate. Beautiful. Give him a hand. Terrific job. Terrific job. We can do the same thing with no dribble. With no bounce. So same thing with no bounce. Ready? Go. You stay low. Boom. Popcorn, popcorn. 5. Oh, you're good. 4, 3, 2, go get it, go get it, go get it, go get it, go get it. And the only thing he didn't do was decelerate. Now with that one, you gotta be really, really careful, because imagine you got 14 other kids here. That could be a problem, but again, once your kids have mastered the drill, they'll be okay. Nice job. Let me get, we got 9 minutes left, let's rock and roll. Let me get 4 players, including you, because you've done such a terrific job, and including you, because you did a great job before I had you sit down. 2 more guys or girls, it doesn't matter, that want to join them down there in the baseline. Quick, quick, quick. I told you that anytime you add a basketball, you up the perceived relevance. Anytime you allow a kid to shoot a basketball, boy, you've really upped the perceived relevance. I want to put you guys in a single file line right here, right behind this young man here. So 3 guys behind him. The second 2 guys in line, please grab a basketball. I'm gonna have them run through a few patterns right now. I'm worried about the movement. I'm worried about the athleticism portion. I wanna look at their footwork, their acceleration, their deceleration, but they're gonna wanna shoot the ball. So we're both gonna get something out of this drill. This again goes back to, all you gotta do is use your own imagination and creativity. Now your lane is a little bit wider than what we'd use in high school. At DeMatha, I want you to line up with where that circle is. So we'll come in here. You're gonna sprint. As soon as you get to the elbow, I want you to plant and sprint. As soon as you get to the circle, plant. We're running a half circle, just like the gentleman did on the circle. Step in right here. Next guy in line gives you the ball. I want you to shoot an elbow jump shot. You go get your own rebound, you give it to the next guy. As soon as that shot goes up, the next guy's taking off. I know you guys are worried about shooting. I want you worried about perfect footwork. I want you to trace this pattern as perfectly as you can, and I want you to go as hard and as well as you can. Go. Quick, quick. Step in and shoot. Take off. Next guy, go. Get the ball, yep. Hard. Yep. He didn't really trace that circle though, did he? He ran right through the damn thing. Trace the circle. There you go. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Let's go twice through, gentlemen. Twice through. And what did I tell you guys? Right now, I'm hoping that you're watching this and your wheels are spinning and you're thinking of how many different patterns could you make up using that arrangement. And then you can hold up, my friend. Last one. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Got him. Got him, and we won. Nice job. And now we're going to do the same thing, but we're just going to switch up the pattern. So you're going to sprint. When you get to the elbow this time, I want you to reverse pivot and open up. I want you to push step, defensive slide. When you get here, open up again. Let's come across, step in, and shoot our shot. So it's going to be a reverse pivot, push step / defensive slide, come around. Let's go twice through. Whenever you're ready, you're up. Nice. Nice job. We did this as a way to end our conditioning workout the other day at DeMatha. We went through about 30 to 40 minutes of the stuff I just shared with you, and then this is how we ended it. We have a gym at DeMatha where we have the 4 side baskets and the 2 main baskets. So we have 6 baskets. We can put 4 or 5 kids in each basket, and we'll just hold some shooting contests. Just a way to make it fun. First team to make 10 elbow jumpers running through this pattern gets a point. And then we'll do another pattern. First team that ends up with 5 total points wins. And that way you're getting the kids to really compete. Now I want to see if you guys can put your thinking caps on. Each one of you is going to run through whatever pattern you want to run right now. It just can't be any of the 2 that we just did. So each guy's going to go once. You think of any movement pattern. You can involve sprinting, backpedaling, and defensive sliding. All you have to do is stay with the same shape that I put you in. So whatever you want to do, each guy go one time. Let's see your creativity. Whenever you're ready, you're up. Yep, we'll take it. We'll take it. Always want players to have some ownership. Outstanding. Give them a hand. Terrific. What was the drill that I said started with an S that players hate running? Suicides? We can do kind of a mini version of that right now, which is going to really promote some great change of direction. But we're going to add a basketball, we're going to add a shot, which makes it more fun for them. So still using the markings of the lane, why don't we just we'll use the block, this hash, and then we'll use the elbow. All you need to do, and you're going to always face the court, so you're going to sprint to the block, sprint back, sprint to the hash, sprint back, sprint to the elbow, step in, catch, and shoot. Just one time each. Go. Had I not put the parameters of telling them which foot to plant, and I guess I probably should have done that to prove a point, 99 times out of 100, players will always plant with their dominant foot. If you go back right now and you tell your team to run a suicide, most of your kids will always plant every single time with their dominant foot, which means at the end of a suicide, they've planted every time, let's just say, with their right foot. If you have them run a few suicides over the course of a practice, they're going to constantly plant on their right foot, which means they're not balanced. We want to make sure in training that we're doing everything equally. So if you're going to have your kids run change of direction drills like that, and of course, whatever we did on this elbow, once one team won, we would move to the other elbow and run the mirror image of it. But you have to put the parameters on of telling them which foot they need to plant with, because if not, they'll constantly plant with their dominant foot because it's a closed skill. And then when they get in a game and they have to plant off their left, they're going to be at a disadvantage. That foot's not going to be as strong, as powerful, or as coordinated. So we need to make sure that we're evening up those parameters. Let's go, we got 4 minutes left. Let me just get Zach and my young man right here. You guys are going to come out. You guys may have a seat. Give these 2 guys a hand. One-on-one is a game that's not played very often anymore, and it's a shame. I'm not very old. I'm 36 years old, but I kind of came up playing a ton of one-on-one. And that's not to say we're promoting one-on-one within the confines of 5-on-5. One-on-one is a great way to condition. Great way to condition. Of course, it's very basketball specific, and we're working on the perceived relevance. I don't know how it's done in Winnipeg. Here's how kids play one-on-one in DC. You're playing me, so you're right here. We check the ball. I dribble around for 20 minutes and then I take a horseshit shot and he just stands there and watches it. Do kids in Canada do that occasionally, or is that just a US thing? Yeah, it happens all the time, right? So there's no purpose behind it. It's not doing anything to get anyone better. So we need to put some rules and some parameters on games of one-on-one so that they're getting what they need to get out of this. You're gonna guard me. First thing we're gonna do, instead of checking it facing each other, you're behind me, so you're on defense. Instead of checking it, I'm gonna spin the ball to myself. So now I catch it and square up. Now we're live, so you're guarding me, so you're gonna wanna be right on my tail when we do that. So just that little subtle difference now becomes a little bit more game specific because now I have to make a cut to get the ball. Granted, it's not the hardest cut in the world, but from a footwork standpoint. Here are the rules, so you can have the ball, Zach, you'll start. As soon as the player catches the ball, they have a 5-second shot clock. 5-second shot clock. 5 seconds is a long time. If I were to stand here right now and count quietly to 5, it would be awkward for all of us. 5 seconds is a long time. But it's better than a kid dribbling around for 20 minutes. But it's also not too long of a time that they've got some room to operate. We also put a dribble rule on it. So in this case, for this particular game, we're gonna play top of the key. You get 5 seconds, you get 1 dribble. You only get 1 dribble to score. So I'll let you do whatever you wanna do. Spin it to yourself. When you turn around, I'll start counting. You get 1 dribble to score. Go ahead. 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. Yep, play's over, but even though the play would be over, I would still want you to box out. So we want to use all the details. Now it's your ball, go ahead. We'll play loser's ball, so that way one kid just doesn't get on a roll. Whenever you're ready, you go ahead and spin it to yourself. 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. Then you put whatever parameters you want on it. You can say games are to 7, playing 2s and 3s, and you can play a best of 5 series, whatever you want. I like to do it that if, let's just say it's 6-5 right now, and Zach scores for the go-ahead bucket to win it, then he has to step up and make a free throw. If he doesn't make a free throw, that point did not count. It's the other young man's ball, and they're going right back to it. So once again, put whatever rules you want on it. Here's a few other ones we'll play. Spin it to yourself on the elbow. So start in the paint, start under the basket, and here's where you decide which elbow you're going to. Right now, it looks like you're going to go to that one, but you don't have to. You go to whatever elbow, 5-second shot clock. The only rule this time is you must score with your offhand, which you've already told me is your left hand. So you can take as many dribbles as you want, but you only get 5 seconds. You have to score with your left. Whenever you're ready, you're up. Not bad, not bad. Okay, same thing. I'll give each guy 1 shot. Yep. Elbow next time. That's okay. Got him. So he either, and you guys tell me, he's either a really lazy player, which is why he spun it so close, or he's a really, really highly cerebral player and knows the closer you are to the basket, the higher your advantage. So I don't know, which one are you, lazy or smart? Huh? Okay, a little bit of a hesitation. I think you're smart too. I'm just messing with you, my friend. Let's do the same thing on the wing over here, except this time you spin it. I want you to catch it outside of the 3-point line. But you can't shoot threes, and you cannot score inside of the paint. You have to score in this area right here, which kids in the United States have no idea what this real estate is right here. It's called a mid-range game. You have to score somewhere in this mid-range game. As many dribbles as you want, just start outside the 3, but you cannot shoot a 3, you cannot score inside the lane. Whenever you're ready, you're up. Not bad, not bad, and you get a shot at him back. We got a couple left, guys. Yep, you get a shot. I think that buzzer's gonna go off in 5 seconds, but I got about 60 seconds left. I promise I'll be done. That's okay, nice job. Not bad at all. You guys are doing, hey, give them a hand. These guys are doing terrific. A couple other ones we can do. This one's great just from a conditioning standpoint. So I'm gonna set it right here. Zach, you're gonna stand right here, and why don't you stand on the free throw line? This is like a pro agility shuttle. You're gonna dictate the action, which means you just pick one sideline to run to. So right now, pick a sideline and just start sprinting towards it, but just walk. Either way, either one. So you go this way, which means you have to go this way. You're reacting to him. Go ahead to the sideline, plant, touch it with your foot, come back, and it's live. You get the ball, you pick up the ball, and you're trying to score. You're playing defense. So it puts you at a little bit of a disadvantage. You have to react to whatever he does. Same thing, 5-second shot clock. You get 2 dribbles this time. You get 2 dribbles. You decide which direction you want to go. He goes the other way. Pick it up and you're live. Boom, nice. Excellent. And got him. And I can tell he has a high basketball IQ. He's a smart kid because the defender was coming this way. He's smart enough to realize that if that kid's energy is all coming this way, I'm going to attack in this direction. So just that little subtle thing right there showed me he's a very smart player. Go ahead and just switch it up. Other guy get to go. And then I'll just do one more version, then I promise I'm done. Yep. Nice job, guys. Boom. Yep. Nice job. That's okay. That's okay. And the last one we'll do, Zach, you go to midcourt. You come right here underneath this circle. You're gonna throw it to him, but you're gonna throw it to him at a pretty good pace, and you're charging, and we're going live. You're coming straight at him like a bull. So you're coming straight at him. You do whatever you want. You get 2 dribbles. So you're gonna want to catch that thing with a full head of steam. Whenever you're ready, go ahead. 5, 4, 3, 2, and got him. Nice job. One more for the other guy, then we're gonna give you guys a big clap, and then we'll be done. Terrific job, terrific job. I mean, I can only imagine the infinite number of ways that you can play one-on-one. And understand this, I did this with give them a hand first of all, terrific job. Both of you guys, I appreciate you both. You guys can have a seat, well deserved, I appreciate you. Understand this, at DeMatha, and I don't say this to toot our own horn, there's 26,000 high schools in the United States that are eligible to be ranked. We're usually in the top 10 out of 26,000. We have really, and I'll say it one more time, really talented players. And yes, we recruit a lot of them. We make no bones about it. We have really good basketball players. You have no idea how bad our kids struggle playing some of these games of one-on-one. These are some of the best basketball players in the United States, and they struggle when you put some of these parameters on it. Scoring with the offhand, scoring without dribbling 52 times, scoring when you're at a disadvantage of running out from under the basket. So this stuff, so now I know we're onto something. When I can find stuff that really challenges our kids based on how talented they are, I know we're onto something golden. So we want to try to mix that stuff in. If you guys could give this entire group a hand for being here, I really appreciate it. And I very much appreciate you guys for being here and taking your time on a morning, on a weekend morning. If I could ever be of service to you, please know it'd be my honor to do it. Let me give you my email address. It's Alan, A-L-A-N, @strongerteam.com. I have a 100% return rate on email, so if you hit me up, I'll guarantee you I'll get back to you, usually within 72 hours. I'm really big into Twitter and Facebook and YouTube as ways to share information, so if you're on those things, would love for you to follow along. Like I said, if I can ever help you, if you were to ever find yourself in the DC area and you want to watch anything that we do at DeMatha, the door's always open. Just drop me an email ahead of time, and I can give you our schedule, a practice schedule, workout schedule, game schedule. You're always welcome to come check it out. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much.